Namaste to all of you. A small prayer. You can close your eyes, no need to stand up. Small prayer. Om Asato ma sadghamaya tamaso ma jyodirghamaya mrityorma amritam ghamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste to all of you. Hope there will be two good takeaways for everybody here. It's at the fag end of the day. I think you will carry something with you at the end of this session. It won't be long enough though, I assure you. So how many of us here have problems? How many of you have problems? Yes, put both the hands up. No issues. Yes. How do we deal with these problems, essentially? How do you solve or how do you dissolve the problems? One way is let the problem be. Okay, that's sometimes we reconcile to that situation. But largely, there are three ways that we deal with the problem. One is the you way. I own the problem. I solve the problem. I make my efforts to solve the problem. The second way is the God way. In India, we are masters of this. The God way. We leave it to God. We are so confident. We leave it to God. God will take care. There is a third way, which I think is the most popular, at least today, is that it's a combination of both. I will do something, God will support me. I will do something and God will help me overcome this problem. So these three are the broad categories. Is it correct? Is there anything else left? There are three categories you can put it in, right? Now what is your result of all this? What is the result? Each one of us here have problems. We encounter problems. In fact, the whole day is about dealing with issues. It could be personal, professional, business, anything. It's about dealing with problems. But what is the result of any of these three methods? It's a mixed result. Would you agree? Largely, it's a mixed result. It's okay. You're not bad, right? For some of them, it's quite bad. Some of you are really going through a traumatic time. Really difficult. For some, it's much on the better side. We call the more, a brighter side of life. Okay? So why is this coming? So there are two broad methods. One, you are dependent on the God, and the other one is on you, your own self. Then, why there is a problem? Let us take the God way. Let's take the God way. So why is God playing such an important role for us? Because God is immortal, right? God is immortal. He is omnipresent. He is all merciful. He has got no limits. He can be everywhere. And He doesn't have problems. I think we'll all agree that, no? God doesn't have problems. Do we agree on that? But there is some problem. If only He exists. Correct, no? Otherwise, if you are very sure, we will not have we won't work on the problem ourselves. We are so sure about the existence of God and the faith in God and the trust in God, we leave it to Him. Am I correct? But there is an element of all this is fine, but only if we exist. Is he really there? I mean, how much of evil is there in the society? So suddenly we also get doubts. So keep this one side, one part in one column. Now what about you? Now here comes the interesting part. So what about the problems? Oh my word, I am the problem. Right? So you have the problem, you are the problem in many cases. We'll say, I am so limited. We have so much of prejudices. Our mind is so limited. Our knowledge is little. Several problems. But there is one good thing about good news is there in this method. You are sure about your existence. Does anybody here have a doubt about our existence, your own existence? Anyone? No? We all know we exist, right? So now imagine a scenario when you combine these two, the benefits of these two approaches, the certainty of the existence with the omnipotence, with the limitlessness, with the problem-free nature. Now, what is the result? Imagine combining both the benefits together on the two approaches, the you approach and the God approach. You get something incredible, isn't it? And what is it? We all know this. This we call religion or spirituality. Literally, why is it so popular? So much people are applying their minds into it. You know, big guys, the doctors, the engineers, the scientists finally go and reach there. What is it? How many of you in this hall have a situation when you have wondered, why is it such a big thing? We have not even seen God. Why are we so much about religion and spirituality? How many of you have had this question in their mind? Or how many of your children are asked this question to you, what's the big deal? This combination of you and God, the certainty of you with the omnipotence of God has a life-transforming ability. It can transform anybody's life. It can bring out the greatness in you, the divine powers in each one of you here. So, they use two terms for this. The purpose of religion or spirituality is twofold. Only that can address twofold, they can make twofold promises. It is called Adyantika Dukkha Nivritti and Paramananda Prapti. What it means is complete cessation from all kind of sorrows or problems and total fulfillment. You get complete bliss, which is almost impossible that we can conceive of. But that is the only thing that promises. Okay? And you have devotional approach, which is towards God, and then there is something called Atma Vichara, is about understanding who you truly are. But let's not get into that now. Can we do this? Can we do, if such a thing is promised that I will be able to deal with any kind of problem, but we will go and venture into this process? Mostly no. We know something is very good, still we don't want to do it. We won't do it. You won't be able to do it. Why? That's the question. That's a big question. There are two obstacles. And that is because of the mind. The two obstacles are Viparita Bhavana and what is Viparita Bhavana? First of all, that is the contrary tendency. And Asambhavita Bhavana, that is, it is impossible. When I say this, no, people will say this is impossible. Arey yaar, let's stop talking about it. We know all this thing is not possible. This is not realistic at all. Okay, so the mind is having an issue. So we are not able to have a control on the mind to do what it takes to achieve something. This is common to all the problems each one of us face here. So, even when we in Suba Solutions, when we run the organization, we do a lot of things. We try to train people, we try to make them think positive, we ask them to learn, we want you to listen to customers, so many things you want to do in a certain way, but it doesn't happen. Why? It is the Viparita Bhavana and Asambhavita Bhavana. These two tendencies in the mind. So what happens is, the fundamental of anything, problem solving, is having a clean mind. I was just thinking, this clean mind as a culture of an organization, as a society, if we can build, how would it be? But anyway, we thought at Suba, we thought let's make that as a corporate movie. We follow a policy. How do we do this? Every one of us, if we are able to have a clean mind, how do we clean up our mind from the negativities, from the Viparita Bhavana? Is it possible? Suppose you give a big dream. We can do this much of sales. It is not possible. The sales guy thinks. He tells like this, but it doesn't happen, It is nice to hear. These are nice things on the table, but it doesn't happen. So how do you overcome this fundamental issue? So we chanced upon a wonderful, wonderful video, which we made it as our corporate philosophy video. I would like you to play. Somebody can play that video. It's just a 2-minute or 3-minute video.
There's one really big problem with trying to think positive, and I'm going to show you what it is. See, this is clean water, and this represents how you're born. Perfect, no flaws, a clean slate. But then life happens. We're told how we have to fit in. We're told what we're supposed to do, what's not acceptable, what society wants. Some people get told that they're stupid. They get told that they're fat. They get told that they're not enough. We have some failed relationships. We go on Instagram and we compare ourselves with other people. We see the advertisements and realize that we're not as good as the photoshopped photos. And what happens? We become negative and we start having negative self-talk. So not only is there negativity outside of you, but the negative self-talk is now negativity inside of you. Life happens. It's impossible to go through life without getting some scars. But then we hear that we should think positive. And that's like taking a little bit of clean water and pouring it in. It makes it a little bit more clear, but it doesn't make the negativity go away. And at this point is where most people give up. They say that positive thinking doesn't work. Well, if you go at it this way, of course it doesn't work. But then there's some people that try a little bit more positive thinking. And they take more water and they pour it in. And it becomes a little bit more clear and a little bit more clear, but it's still dirty. But then you have to realize that this is how you have to be. You have to search for the positive things in your life. You have to find the things to be grateful for, the things to be happy about. You have to be intentional about creating positive relationships and an environment in your life that's positive. Because thinking positive isn't something that you do sometimes. It's something that you have to do all of the time. You have to be proactive about it. You have to realize that the world is inherently negative, and you have to be intentional every day about filling yourself with positivity. And if we do, this is what our mind will become. It'll start to become a little bit more clear, and a little bit more clear, and a little bit more clear. Because see, positive thinking isn't something that you do sometimes. It's something that you have to do all the time.
That's a Rob Dial for you. I mean, see, this is something phenomenal. The impact of this could be so humongous in your lives. it's not just in the morning you do something and, oh, I feel positive now, then you go out and then let the crap in, So this was a defining moment for us. We said this is what our people will be constantly reminded of, what they are doing, how the mind is kept, because the mind holds the secret of whatever we do, how successful we are going to get. Whether we can get enlightened or not, at least the basic mechanism of dealing life as it comes, being able to take it. We thought this could be the corporate philosophy movie of Suba Solutions. And with this will come positivity, willingness to learn, which is a very big challenge, I guess, moving forward. Kindness, love, things, all good things. And after that, if you're taking the next step towards the ultimate spiritual goal of enlightenment, or as they call it, that's a choice people can make. But this, for sure, will improve the life of each and every one in this room. That's what I thought I can share. Suba can share apart from the equipment that we sell. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Namaste to all of you.